I'm back with Marissa Streit, CEO of PragerU. By the way, the website, prageru.com. We're talking about the terrific materials that PragerU puts together, which have expanded out from the original 5-minute videos to now a kind of cornucopia of materials, including educational materials targeted for young people and at young people. So Marissa, talk now about, you mentioned Texas, but of course you've been having some issues in Florida, or at least getting some criticism in Florida because the videos used to be out there, the materials out there for public consumption, but it's a whole other thing to navigate your way into the education system. Talk about how you're doing in that regard and any kind of pushback you might be getting.
Well, we've mostly been receiving a lot of love from Florida. That is, the parents and many of the teachers that want to use our turnkey lesson plans and videos and content. You might be familiar with our Cash Course series, which is financial literacy. We have a video series for little ones on civics. And so people are absolutely loving it. The folks that are not loving it are the typical bureaucrats and the people who've had control over the education system. And so you'll hear from the teachers' unions who are upset. You'll hear from the legacy media that is obviously lying about us, making all kinds of claims that we say that women belong in the kitchen barefoot and pregnant and shouldn't have jobs. I mean, these things could not be more ridiculous. I'm the CEO of PragerU. I'm a professional. And so they obviously lie. I mean, they've been lying about our videos on Frederick Douglass, and the list goes on. But the population is loving our content. And it's the same thing that they've done to Ron DeSantis, right? Like people love the freedom that Ron DeSantis gave them during the lockdowns, but the media was making all kinds of claims. And so don't let the media fool you. I know they wouldn't follow you, Dinesh. You never fall to those kinds of things. And obviously, additional states are getting on the phone with us and saying, how can we provide the same type of turnkey education that is now going to be provided in Florida to teachers all over the United States? And so now we're in Texas. We're super excited about that. And, it's very heartwarming to see how many parents have been writing in saying, thank you so much. We have been yanking out these curriculums that are revolving around critical race theory or the LGBTQ, like early sexualization of children. We've been pulling it out of our schools, but that has created some sort of vacuum. What can we put instead? And PragerU Kids is the answer to that. What we are trying to do is not only encourage people to pull the garbage out, but to give them something turnkey that is beautiful, educationally sound, and healthy for a child's brain to put in instead of what needs to be pulled out.
I mean, I think the point that you make about the need to go right to the source, go right to PragerU, or if you're trying to figure out what I say in one of my films, 2,000 Mules, go watch the film. And the reason for this is that so often what would appear to be a neutral description or a fact checker is an outright lie. I mean, right now, if you go to Wikipedia and you enter Abraham Lincoln and you look at his political party, you'd expect to see Republican, but you don't. So, I mean, if you can distort the truth to that extent, and you mentioned, of course, Frederick Douglass, now the left doesn't really want to bash Frederick Douglass because he was an abolitionist. He's obviously one of perhaps the 2 or 3 greatest Black Americans of our history. But what they don't want to know is what was Frederick Douglass really saying? Why was Frederick Douglass a lifelong Republican? Why did Frederick Douglass say that the Republican Party is the ship and everything else is the sea? So, in other words, the real Frederick Douglass is an inconvenience to the left. And so kudos to PragerU for you know what? We're going to tell the story that they refuse to tell. And no wonder they're squealing about it.
I mean, you bring up Frederick Douglass, and I know you're a great historian, so you might get a chuckle out of this one. So we released the Leo and Layla animated show for 3rd through 5th grade, and these are these 2 little characters that travel in time and meet Frederick Douglass, and they have a conversation with Frederick Douglass, the abolitionist, and the kids say, slavery is such a horrible thing. And then Frederick Douglass responds with a literal quote from his speech. So we took an actual quote from his July 5th speech. And that quote, of course, the left has no idea because they've never actually picked up an original document. That quote drove them crazy because they didn't realize that it was his original quote. And so all over Twitter, they started saying that we put words in Frederick Douglass's mouth. And so when Frederick Douglass said that the Constitution is a glorious document, is a glorious liberty document, they went nuts on us saying he would have never said something like that. This is a complete lie. PragerU is putting words in Frederick Douglass's mouth. I'm like, guys, you cannot make this stuff up. But like you said, that's what they do. They distort history so much so they won't even bother seeking the truth. Anyway, now Leo and Layla, these characters are going to be the most famous little characters in America because they're just going crazy.
Oh, that is awesome, Marissa. Well, this is all great stuff. I'm really glad to hear it. Guys, check out PragerU, PragerU.com. It's been a pleasure talking to you, Marissa Streit. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me on. Real fun.
Mike Lindell has a passion to help you get the best sleep of your life. He didn't just stop with the pillow. He also created the Giza Dream bed sheets. These sheets look and feel great, which means an even better night's sleep, which is crucial for our overall health. Mike found the world's best cotton called Giza. It's ultra soft and breathable, but extremely durable. Mike's latest deal is the sale of the year for a limited time. You get 50% off the Giza Dream sheets, marking prices down as low as $29.98, depending on the size. Go to mypillow.com, enter promo code Dinesh. There you'll find not only this amazing offer, but deep discounts on all the MyPillow products, the MyPillow mattress topper, the robes, the kitchen towel sets, and so much more. Go to mypillow.com, use promo code Dinesh, or you can call 800-876-0227 for this incredible offer. Again, that's 800-876-0227, or go to mypillow.com. Don't forget to use the promo code DINESH Dinesh.